Mitch McConnell says providing aid for Ukraine is one of the most important legislative victories of his career. The Senate Minority Leader sat down with Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan only a day after President Biden signed into law a $95 billion foreign aid package that encompasses this aid. Here's some of their discussion.
I understand you just hung up with Ukraine's President Zelenskyy. The U.S. has shipped him capabilities, including these long-range missiles, as part of this new congressional aid package. What did he say to you? Does he need more specific weapons in the immediate term?
Well, one of the things I apologize for is it's taken too long. If you go back to the beginning of this administration, even though I supported, obviously, this supplemental request and worked hard to get Republican votes for it, this all started with the precipitous withdrawal from Afghanistan. It's like sending out a green light to all the rogue regimes around the world that the Americans are going home. Number two, not giving the Ukrainians what they need soon enough. Didn't just start with this administration. I remember the Obama administration sent them meals ready to eat. It's not exactly a way to defend yourself.
Following the 2014 partial invasion.
Yeah. So it's gradually gotten better. The administration's still been self-deterring themselves with some fear that the Russians would be deterred by our lack of action. So my main complaint is let's get the weapons there as quickly as possible. I apologize for how long it took Congress to do its part, but we finally did. And he was also impressed by the fact that Republican support grew in the Senate substantially.
Because you were whipping those votes. You convinced 9 additional senators.
It wasn't something I felt lightly about, let's put it that way.
But who did you feel you were apologizing for?
The slowness of it.
But that wasn't in the Senate.
I'm sorry?
The slowness was not in the Senate. Were you apologizing for House Republicans?
No, it was in the Senate. We spent about 4 months trying to agree to a deal to deal with our own border with Mexico, which is a disaster. And initially, obviously, to make a law, you have to deal with the other side. They've got the White House, they've got the Senate. We came up with a proposal. It was, my members felt, many of them, were not good enough. Our nominee for president seemed to be unenthusiastic about acting on that. And so that took 3 or 4 months. Once we realized we were not going to be able to legislate on the border, we bored in on the subject of the supplemental. And I think a number of my members focusing on that changed their mind. And we grew from 22 to actually 32. One member missed the last vote, but would have voted for it.
And CBS News Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent Margaret Brennan joins us now. Of course, she is also the moderator of Face the Nation. Watching that interview, Margaret, a viewer should probably take away from this that the Senate leader's on a bit of a victory lap when it comes to Ukraine.
Absolutely. It is very clear that Mitch McConnell shares with Joe Biden the view that we are at a significantly dangerous moment in time on the world stage, and that America needs to lead in that by being, as he referred back to it, the arsenal of democracy. That's why he was really trumpeting the ability that he had to get this package done, the $61 billion of it for Ukraine. But at the same time, Ed, what is so notable is that he had to apologize for his own party. I didn't have to press him to do that. He did. He said he apologized to Volodymyr Zelenskyy for it taking so long because of the infighting in the Senate and then in the House. And it's significant because he went farther than that and actually acknowledged there was battlefield impact. The Supreme Allied Commander, the head of NATO forces, General Kaboli, has testified to Congress that the Russian army has reconstituted its defense industrial base, that they've actually reinforced the positions in the 20% of Ukraine that they hold. And McConnell said, yes, we bear some responsibility for that. I thought that was significant. Yeah. But to your point, he's using it as victory lap to say, I defeated the forces of isolationism within the Republican Party on this one particular issue. And he said the best evidence of how we're doing pushing on isolationism is the difference between 22 and 32. He's counting votes between how the Senate supplemental passed in the fall, and then when they just voted on it again this week, that he has actually drawn up Republican support despite Donald Trump. And he tried to avoid mentioning Mr. Trump. He said the Republican frontrunner, and he said it was helpful that he stopped whipping against Ukraine aid.
And while you were talking to him on this incredibly important issue, there was another one playing out literally across the street at the Supreme Court.
Literally across the street.
Any chance you two discuss that one as well?
We did. We'll have some of that for you on Sunday. You're talking about the question the Supreme Court is debating in terms of presidential immunity for someone who once was in office, Donald Trump, who's arguing that because he was not convicted by the Senate for the offenses on which he was impeached, that therefore he can't face prosecution in a criminal context either. And who led that effort for the Senate not to convict? Mitch McConnell. So while Mitch McConnell is not a fan of Donald Trump, he is key to Donald Trump's defense as to why is he not responsible for January 6th. McConnell stuck with his assessment of Mr. Trump, and you'll hear it again on Sunday.
All right. How's that for a tease? Margaret Brennan, thank you for bringing us a taste of it. And you can, of course, see the rest of it, her interview with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell on America's #1 Sunday public affairs show, We Should Note, Face the Nation, this Sunday right here on CBS News 24/7.